Welcome to Experiencing Consciousness. My name is Dyba.
And I'm Dr. Kathryn Rossi. We're happy you're here. Zero. And you know it, and I know it.
Yeah, it has, until now, it has never been boring.
It never will be.
It never will be.
You don't tolerate boring. You never have,
Yeah.
and you never. There are certain absolutes in this world, and that's one of them for you. And to see things in ways that other people do not is your genius. We all have geniuses. And when you can discover your genius when you're young, it's even better. And most people don't discover their geniuses. They think they're average. You're not. There's nothing average about you. But it's true. I mean, a profound intelligence, a profound curiosity. And you know it, and I know it. It's written all over your face. So I do know that you've gone to some places today that are really important, and that you will remember what's important to remember. Maybe it's everything. Maybe it's just a few things. But that you'll remember that.
Okay. I'm going to pause here for a moment because we're still in the process of, I think, reframing, connecting all of that with genius and discovery. But then you switch from present tense to future. And my immediate response in the body is that actually going to planting post-hypnotic suggestions? I mean, are we actually heading towards another phase of the session or another phase of the creative process around here?
Well, we're getting into stage 4 is really what we're doing. And stage 4 is the integration. And so when I'm saying something so direct and you know it, and I know it. And I think I said that at least 3 or 4 or 5 times. Yes. And you know it, and I know it. And when I said you, the voice volume is a little louder there. So something we haven't talked about is the modulation of voice volume. I was again, because I think that if my memory is serving me correctly, we're getting towards the end of the session. And maybe yes, maybe no. But in, well, what really did we do today? And maybe you'll remember everything. Maybe you'll just remember a few things, but you're going to remember what's important to remember. Because I know at times people come for a psychotherapy session and they leave and they say, I don't remember a thing. And of course, it's going into the unconscious mind, but we're bringing forth the conscious mind. And I'm saying to him, something that is about his genius, about what he is best in doing. And that is seeing things in his own unique way that is not the way that everybody else sees it. who are the best writers in the world? They're people that see things that you don't. And so you want to go along for the ride because you're getting to see something in a new way. You're not sure about the predictability of it, so you're hanging on the next word and the next word and the next word. And we already know about his brilliance in writing, correct? And so I then say another really important thing, if I'm using the word genius, what's the opposite of genius? Wouldn't it be average? You know, that it's not stupid is not the opposite. It's more like average. And that, you know, and I say, and you have intelligence and you have curiosity and you know it and I know it. And so when you think about how to be successful in life in general, but how to be successful as a writer, it's to be able to see things in your unique way, to be able to see them with curiosity, and to be able to recognize that it's such a good thing that you're not like everybody else. You know, that you're not the average person walking down the street. There's something really unique and brilliant about you. And that this is something to appreciate within yourself. And then I say, and it's written all over your face. And so I'm looking at what's going on, and I know that I'm saying the truth. And that, you know, in the case of what you'll remember and what you won't remember, it's not important, you know, it's that's a comfort thing, is that if you can be comfortable with what you remember and what you forget, then you're not going to be troubled with it. And the truth of the matter is that we do remember what's important, one way or the other, of what's important. We remember, you know, the good things when they're important. Sometimes it's important to remember the difficult things. And so, so in this case, you know, I bring it up, and of course, when I'm saying, you know, you will remember, that is a future tense thing. So we, you know, we are shifting from the profound being in the moment to the stage 4 of, you know, so how are you going to apply this in your life? What are you going to take with you? It's subtle in this respect, because, you know, stage 4, that it doesn't always happen within a psychotherapy session. I'm very satisfied in a psychotherapy session if we can get to stage 3. And then stage 4 is something that often, you know, the individual has to work out for themselves. How am I going to put this into my life? Like, you know, I've done this work. How could it be valuable for me? You know, what will I remember? What's important? What isn't? And so those were the things that are going on in my mind.
Yeah, and we could see before in the session that Hubert was actually following your reframing and actually creating his own reframings of the content that was previously, you know, somehow different.
Mm-hmm.
So we could actually see before the stage 3 kind of emerging, and so now naturally it follows along to the stage 4. By the way, I couldn't resist when you said to him, you are not an average, Hubert, you are not an average person walking on the street. In my mind, first thing that came out was like, pretty Hubert walking down the street. I'm gonna leave you with this, Hubert.
I think that's great. Instead of pretty woman, pretty Hubert. Why not? Let's blur the lines. So I'm curious though, Hubert, what do you make of this?
we will see. I hope to try to make the best out of it, but I see right now, after all of this experimenting, I feel quite good in the brain. Like like that's what I make. I'm not 100% sure if it is really like a start of the like a snowball avalanche that will result in many good books or not, but I feel better. Like some things that were making me feel bad, making me feel like guilty or tired or something like that, vanished. Some things I during the process I started to think a bit more, and right now I developed ways of dealing with them in the regular life, also after our session, and trying to read a bit more about ADD and stuff like that. I was able to actually change a bit of habits that I sometimes see that I react in ways that could be a bit different because of this superpower I have, and I'm calming down and try to make it a bit more how I'm more focused on result, like not following my superpower, but knowing what works, and changing the way I sometimes work. For example, when I'm reading about something and I'm about to open 6th tab or something like that, I know that it is not useful for me. It is only the habit that I used to have, and I'm trying to more focus on doing it on the more like organized way. So actually there was a few surprising things that changed in the life during the whole sessions and stuff like that, and I feel a part, like one negative part of the brain being removed. Like I don't know how to say this part.
Lobotomized?
Not it is, I don't want it to I don't want it to be so drastic, but yes, but I mean about this like gibberish distorted voices or stuff like that, which I don't know what was it still, but I found it quite a dark thing, and I'm happy that it is something that that almost completely or completely vanished, and basically with a lot of things I feel good, and some things that were causing me problems are right now vanished. For example, being this kind of reader who is always guilty about not reading something, like you buy a book and then you don't read it, and next 3 weeks you feel guilty about it and stuff like that. I just don't think about this kind of stuff right now. And even the days that I'm totally doing nothing, I'm more focused about, yeah, I'm doing nothing. I'm chilling out and not focusing about, oh yeah, this is the day that I was supposed to write and I should have sit and do 5 hours of working and stuff like that. And right now I think, no, I'm tired. This is my day off. I don't care about not writing right now because it's very nice weather, and I prefer to be in the garden, for example, or something like that. So I think that of hypnotherapy, of hypnosis, of Milton and stuff like that, and I think it's a very nice thing, because otherwise I could have found something else, like, I don't know, tarot or or astrology or something like that, and I think
Whatever
that
works.
whatever works, but I think that this particular world is both fascinating and have some nice merit to it, and it is something that is really worth exploring and taking inspiration from. So I'm very, very happy about it.
Well, I'm really delighted, and as you speak, I feel so calm inside. Like, you know, that I think that, you know, it's really this wonderful experience, and the word that was coming to my mind is freedom. And
Yeah, basically, yes, the feeling of freedom, and trying to take away things that are inside your head that are unnecessary boundaries, because it's good to make your mind not having no boundaries at all, because it's sometimes also. But I think it indeed opens a lot and gives a lot of freedom, and but in the same time, it's not like new age stuff that you sometimes go and talk a lot about no boundaries, mystical stuff, and how open you are, but actually you put yourself into another like corridor of kind of narrow thinking, but something like a very nice work within your unconscious. And
well,
yeah,
and
definitely
you know,
it's a fascinating role.
it's like when you go to sleep at night, you want a sheet or you want a blanket, like, you know, and those are the boundaries that you put around yourself. So there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time to have limitless sensations and thinking, and then there's a time to, you know, as the English say, tuck in. And we need both. We need both. And I'm always amused by the term New Age. It's like, hasn't that term been around since the beginning of time?
Yeah.
it's I mean, it's beautiful. I love New Age stuff, but it's one of those things that amuses me, the term. I think that if I were to redescribe what is New Age, I would say New Age is the present moment. For instance, I guess I'm into redefining things today. I hope you guys don't mind.
Well, we're gonna put it
we should.
on the YouTube channel and see how people react. I'm more that kind of guy. Let's see how it's gonna, go, and the results. Who knows what's gonna happen? As you said by yourself, maybe we are changing the world today, or who knows? Okay, so do you think we are ready to proceed further?
I think so.
Okay, so let's proceed further.
I know I'm going to remember many things about today with you in a very joyful way. And you never know, we might work together again. And if we work together again, maybe there'll be other things that come up. Difficulties, for instance, because I do want you to understand it's not all sunshine and roses, but there are those days when it is. Today seems to be one of those days.
Yeah, it started difficult, but it was a very nice day.
Mm-hmm. And so when you know, Hubert, when you have a signal that something inside of you can recognize setting finish times much sooner, what will it be like to come back to regular consciousness? Whether you open your eyes or you stretch, but knowing there can be a comfort on the inside of you to be able to set completion sooner. Maybe a day, maybe two. That's right. Yes. And be sure you make it slow. And of course, I need to ask you if there's something more that you need to do right now. Will those eyes close more or less by themselves? Or will they stay open, signaling that we've come to where we need to be for now? That's right, your eyes want to close. Simply allow them to close so that you can go inside to receive what you really need to receive. In your own way and in your own time. That's right. As deep as you need to go. Mm-hmm. And reaching out for listening, maybe letting go, welcoming.
I actually heard my own voice saying to something like, goodbye, and we will see sometime soon, but not soon. See sometime.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that you're saying to yourself, Hubert, because you're on the inside. You're giving yourself the invitation to return to this state whenever you need to. That's right. And how curious it will be of how you end up being able to go into this state. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
So you had a different experience with me.
Oh yes, like more soothing and relaxing after sessions with Jan. I was usually feeling like after running a marathon or weightlifting 500 kilograms, and now I feel like
Well, and
relaxed.
today this was what you needed. And I told you that I'm unique as a therapist, that I follow, I don't lead. It's quite unique.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here because we've got quite a lot of material to catch up. And plus, I wanted this ending, this phase to be in total because it's a process also. There's a lot of things in here. After all these reframings, all this positive kind of side supporting this genius and all these creative aspects, you ended up with it's not all sunshine and roses. And Hubert responds to this something like, yeah, today was a day that started difficult, but it came out pretty nice day. So to me, I'm listening to it, I'm thinking to myself, is it actually a modeling of the process that happened during the during trance? Is the expression of this process, or was the day an a broader context for the process, or was the process of trance actually ending up a difficult day in a different way than it was supposed to end? I mean, so many thoughts on that one. And then you follow along those lines, and you say to him, you can, I presume his eyes were open, and you say to him, you can stay that way, or is it that your unconscious would like to work on something more and those eyes will close before you come out of the trance? So I'm thinking to myself, that can be seen as double bind towards
exactly because Hubert had this very specific desire in the therapy session, and that desire was, to be free from writer's block. So it was I mean, really, really important, and also in being able to in general set deadlines that aren't at the last minute, which was a habit. And so I was thinking about those things. And so in having a condition, I set up a condition for coming out of trance. And the condition was that in coming to let's see, how exactly did I put it? In this is really good. In setting finish times sooner, maybe a day, maybe two, so because this is in support of what he really wants. And so when a therapy session is ready to end, because the therapist is looking at the clock and it's time to finish, at a certain, at a certain time. So then it's necessary to help bring the person out of trance. And so in this, there was an opportunity for me. A lot of times when I'm working with people, they naturally come out of trance on their own. But in this case, there was the opportunity to do this. And so as he's in this, really deep state, then I say, that, that will your eyes open, or will something happen? And that when that you can set your finish times a little bit sooner. And so then his eyes opened up. However, I didn't stay there, because what I know in successful psychotherapy sessions, hypnotherapy sessions, is that if you invite the person to go back in to see if there's something that's unresolved, and in this case, there wasn't anything more for the session to be, because he said, well, actually, it's goodbye. It's like, this is good, goodbye. And so I give this opportunity, but for many people, when you give them this opportunity, they go in, they do a crucial piece of work really quickly. And so I like to give that opportunity. I find that often it's really golden, But and when he came out of trance, really quickly and opening up his eyes, I didn't want him to be so quick. I wanted there to be more of an ease into the regular conscious state. So that's kind of an amazing skill set as a therapist, of being able to read it that way. But there's many examples, particularly in the book The Symptom Path to Enlightenment, that Ernie and I wrote, where we have the if and when statements. If this, when that, will you stretch your arms first? Will you open up your eyes? What will happen when you come out of trance? And then that's definitely a post-hypnotic suggestion. And the post-hypnotic suggestion is very specific to what Hubert wants. So it's not just a little something that I'm making up. It's something that he really, really wants. And I try to pose it as gently as I can, so that there's a certain flexibility with it, that to me, that's like a win-win situation, or as Ernie would call it, it's fail-safe. It's that everybody wins. And that induces even greater relaxation and greater relaxation is going to lead to a greater resolve within. And additionally, to make sure that Hubert recognized that he has the skills to go back into this hypnotic state on his own.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what you actually wrap it up with, is that he can, well, that's what you say very directly, as far as I believe, that he can come back to this state.
Yes. Oh, and when there was the discussion of it's not all sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
Now, when you go in through the 4-stage creative process, and so you've spent time in difficulty, which is stage 2. Difficulty can come back. Difficulty will come back. It might not be on the issues that we worked on. It could be other issues. But I wanted him to know that the indirect way is that, so when you're feeling the difficulties, you could try this. You could try going into this, special state that Again, it's honoring reality is the thing that I don't know as a therapist. I don't know if the problem's been resolved or if we're just doing another iteration of it. And with each iteration, you can get better and better and better. But I don't know if the problem is really solved or not. And so that's why it's not all sunshine and roses means that, hey, listen, if it comes up again, it's like, yeah, deal with it. And then, come back to your happy life. Is that making sense?
Hubert, is it?
Yeah, it's making sense, but I would like to say I think that this ending was quite interesting, because I was starting to feel like waking up and thinking, okay, it is ending right now. I am going to be awake. And then after like 3 or 4 seconds, saying, oh no, it's not. And it was like going back, and then few seconds and say, no, it is not ending. I'm going full. And then during this last part, I really heard something saying like, goodbye, we'll see you soon. Something like that. It was very strange. It was like a feeling of strangeness also connected with that thing, like something saying, yeah, goodbye, see you soon.
So
See
it
you
was,
some
so it
later.
was also surprising.
It was surprising because you know, I was just feeling like I'm coming back, and then it was I didn't expect to be such a like direct conclusion to it. It's like later, see you later. Yes, it was not something I would expect that suddenly I will hear like kind of realistically my own voice saying see you soon, bye. Thank you. Thank you for the nice meeting. Something like that. I
you
don't
were
exactly remember what was exactly, but this kind of stuff. So going
But
back,
it's also
going back, and then saying goodbye. It was.
But it's
very...
also you're speaking to your unconscious mind. You know, that you're speaking on two levels of that you've done enough unconscious mind work, and also, you know, it's time that to wake up and to be in regular consciousness.
Yeah, and then for the second time when I was going out, I realized, yes, that's it. That's definitely. And for the first time, I thought for only for a short second, maybe that's it, but very soon I realized, no, it's not. It's not over. We're getting some more.
Well, I was actually thinking the opposite. That's interesting, because I was thinking that this is the unconscious that is saying goodbye for now, and we're gonna see each other in some time. And you also say that it may be a conscious mind saying to the unconsciousness, okay, that's enough for now. We're gonna see each other somewhere. And now waking up.
And why choose? You know, why can't it be both the communication between the conscious and the unconscious mind?
Yeah,
it's, you know, when the words come up, that's the conscious mind. And but the what is it that you're saying goodbye to? That's what I'm saying, is that there's different levels of that.
Yes.
So the important thing is that this was really satisfying, you know, for everybody. It was satisfying. And by me bringing you back into the trance, that's another element of respect, is I didn't want to leave a stone unturned if there was something more to be done. And as you know, I'm really big on respect. And it's also where you're making the decision to come out of the trance, instead of me making the decision for you, which is what I did in the first part. And in the second part, it was you making the decision.
Okay. Are we proceeding further with the recording to check if there's something left on the...
Might as well, but I think we start getting into talking about the session. But go ahead.
I also recall that this way.
Yeah, I think that was the conclusion of everything.
I'm pretty sure, but you know, you can play a little bit more so we can be certain.
Okay, let's just check. Why not?
To be able to go there. And I'm going to be very curious of how the things that you experienced, of how they're going to show themselves in your life, in your writing, in your general organization.
I'm pretty sure that with small steps it will go in a very good direction. I think so.
Well, you've really enjoyed going into these places of comfort.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it very much.
And there's something about that, when that becomes a value, that that you make it so. And it's different when you're, you know, like a younger person, you know, when you're a child, when you're a teen, you know, when you're in your early 20s, it's this go, 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 go. And there isn't the value of going into comfort, going into relaxation.
Yeah.
But then it's life-giving. And then it becomes a value. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what ends up becoming of this, and to become even more joyful.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that hypnosis and trance will be very big part of me for a long time. And I will
No.
always think about very warmly about this approach.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so pleased.
I think this is the end.
Yeah.
Yes, this is definitely the end. And so as we were making the final conclusions, it really is about stage 4 of curiosity, of comfort, because this was something that was experienced and was valuable. And as I say, you know, it's really life-giving, being able to go into the states of comfort. And so you notice that the softness in Hubert's eyes, the you know, you can see the comfort, you can feel the comfort, and that there's it really is life-giving. And then the laughter is quiet, but it's so genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we had truly reached a satisfying conclusion for the session, and that the other question that he had answered for himself is that he, you know, feels that hypnosis is going to be an important part of his life.
Exactly.
So this experiment of what the heck is hypnosis? Is it, you know, is it important, or is it just, you know, means to an end or whatever? And so so that was another question that was answered that could not be answered before, because he'd only worked with you, Jan.
Mm-hmm.
And so we needed to work with another person in order to kind of make the determination. It's like, oh, this is vast here. You know, each person that I work with is going to be different. This is vast. And I can do self-hypnosis as well.
Mm-hmm. Is this actually post-hypnotic suggestion that you are giving him now, or is it a comment?
It really, it's a comment, you know, but, you know, as we look at the totality of this project, of what it's all about, you know, there is that question. And for people that are, like, you know, watching, it becomes a question. Is hypnosis for everybody? Gosh, I don't think so. But for those people that it's good for, it can be a real gem.
That's a good summary. I think we can actually come to the summary of this session and of this experience. I mean, you know, I'll just say that we can come to the summary and ask, would any one of you would like to add something and summarize the experience?
Maybe you can summarize the experience as an outside voice who was listening to us, because this is what will happen for me when I'm writing, that my readers will make the summaries of what I wrote, was sometimes very surprising for me. so maybe you want to be a reader for a short time and summary the plot that we were trying to give you.
Well,
Okay.
you know, I always, to summarize all of it, I always enjoy watching Dr. Kathryn Rossi at work. It's always, there's a lot of things that I actually take from all those works, a lot of things that I would do differently, and a lot of things that I'm inspired with. So that it's always a pleasure and treasure to be able to do it. And I knew your abilities, Hubert, and some of those abilities you already had. Some of those we actually developed during the process of our, I believe, 9 sessions or 8, I don't recall. And so I was also curious how both of you will go into this contact with the abilities on both sides. And kind of this project, this part of the project, this session was incredible, and we were analyzing it so deeply and for so much time that now when I'm thinking, I was sure that we will not make it today. So I was like, like we still have it, we still have something to do, and now that's it. And I'm thinking to myself, damn. And I mean, like, damn. And so like we are at the end of something interesting, of an exciting adventure. And to be honest, I cannot wait till I'll be able to cut and put all those things together so that we could see it, all of it in episodes, and publish it, and then see the reactions of people and see how they gonna respond and what people are gonna say. I mean, so that's gonna be another level of how actually, you say, you said that your readers will judge you, or say what they think. We're gonna see for ourselves also. People are gonna see it, and I mean, I'm so curious. So that's my summary. Incredible work, incredible, both the session itself and the commentary section. And plus, I believe this is the first time I know in the history where it was possible that that the hypnotic session was commented by therapist, by an observer, and by the client. I mean, I've never seen something like that before. So that's interesting. That's something new. A lot of new insight.
Yes, a lot of dedication that the three of us has been dedicated on this project that Hubert made up, and wondering about it, and we saw it through with dignity, and we didn't short step anything, and that is rare in today's time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is not goodbye. We will see each other, again, but this part of the project is complete for now.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be doing magic with programming and putting it all together. So Hubert, would you like to add something in the end? Summarize your experience with us, with the session, with the analysis, with everything else connected?
Yes, I must say, at first I was the most fascinated by this aspect of hypnosis that can put you in a very deep trance and actually involve some kind of hallucinations, deep thoughts, and being totally out of this world. This kind of stuff that's on the scene hypnosis. There is a guy coming doing like this, and everybody are sleeping, and they are in the completely different state. But later on, I started to be really interested about this deeper aspect of hypnosis, which is not that how to say. It is not looking so spectacular, but it is have a much deeper meaning. It's not like a magic trick, but it's kind of a work in process, actually, of developing, having inside of your own mind, and having inside of your own mind, not knowing that you have it, this part of the work that you actually doesn't even realize that is happening. That's realizing that something's going on in your mind without this part of your mind having to actually make thoughts, make it with a language, make it understandable, that there is this part which just goes on, and sometimes you can actually approach it, and even if it's difficult to say about it, or almost impossible to say about it with words, there is this aspect. So you were able to show me the hypnosis as a really nice, really interesting, deeper kind of maybe a meditation, maybe work with your own mind, or maybe just kind of way of life with this trance-like states that will try to help you to find your way towards some good experiences, and of course something that was able to still find something fascinating in the world, and something very, very close to magic, but not magic about magic tricks, but like a deep magic, like something really unexplainable happening. Like so it was that was it.
Cool. So as you said before, as you said in the introduction, there was a lot of joy, a lot of things happening. There was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There was the ongoing battle between good, Black Sabbath, and evil,
Yes.
Iron Maiden. Yes, and still working on it. And in the end, after all those incredible, things, a lot of insight. And so,
Let's call it practical magic.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that practical magic is that you're magical, and that's the eternal, child is looking for practical magic and how you put it together, and so I think that's another t-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't do boring, I do practical magic.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for this incredible meeting or series of meetings, and till next time.
All right.
See you soon.
This was another episode of our Experiencing Consciousness podcast. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Jan. You're the best. Be well, be happy, celebrate life.